शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शरं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Stanza 3. मायाभासेन जीवेशौ करोतीति श्रुतत्वतः कल्पितावेव जीवेशौ ताभ्यां सर्वं प्रकल्पितम् ईक्षणादिप्रवेशान्ता सृष्टिरीशेन कल्पिता जाग्रदादिविमोक्षान्तः संसारो जीवकल्पितः। The result of Atma Jnana is being described now. In the last chapter, Chitradeepa, so the Chaitanya Sarupa Atma itself is Brahma, was shown. The question is, what result does one gain on account of this knowledge? So that is now being told as Nirankusha Truptihi, unrestrained contentment. Absolute contentment, independent of everything. So that is one is capable of gaining because of discovery of oneself to be nothing but Brahmananda. The Ananda which is limitless, at the same time independent of everything. Of course, that Swarupa as Brahmananda is not going to be the topic of this chapter. That is the topic of chapter 11. But the contentment one can gain on account of that is being explained here. For this purpose, author is taking the help of a mantra from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Atmanam ched vijaneyat ayamasmiti purushaha kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvare. So if one knows that one's Swarupa is this Atma, Desiring what? Why should he get afflicted? That means in accordance with the embodiment, because the embodiment is the very source of all the afflictions, whether at the gross level or the subtle level. Now, the entire chapter is the elaboration of this mantra. So the author is explaining word by word from this mantra. What is that Purusha that is referred to? Purusha in general, in Vedanta, we take to Atma. Atma, the Purnatvat Purusha, the one who is full and complete. Or Purau Ushatiti Purusha, the one who abides, one who is remaining in this embodiment is called as Purusha. But here the Purusha word is used for Jiva, Samsari Jiva. So who is that Purusha? So in what sense the word Purusha is used in this Brihadaranyaka mantra? To explain that, the individual Purush Jiva is not apart from the entire world, because the world is meant for the Jivas to experience their karma phala. So therefore, to describe Purusha, first, what is this Srishti? The Jagat is being described in nutshell, briefly. It says, Maya. Maya here is Prakriti. What does it do? Abhasena, Abhasena, Chidabhasena, Jiveshau Karoti, creates the Jiva and the Ishvara. And then, by these two, Jiva and Ishvara, entire Srishti is further projected. Ishvara creates the, now what is created by Ishvara, what is created by Jiva is explained in the next stanza, that is fourth stanza. Ishvara creates the entire public creation. In the public creation, the specific experiences that Jiva undergoes on account of all his doings and dispositions, attitude, etc. is the individual creation. That is why, even though the public world is one and the same, experiences undergone by different, no two persons can be one and the same. That is what is the Jiva Srishti, of course, which was described earlier in this chapter 6 in detail. So now, in briefly, he touches about that. We have seen up to Ikshanadi Praveshanta. What is that is created by Ishvara? Ikshanadi Praveshanta Srishti Ishena Kalpita. This is what is created by Ishvara. What Srishti, what creation? Ikshanadi Praveshanta. We have seen these two compounds, Ikshanadi and Praveshanta. First, Ikshanadi means the Srishti which has got Ikshana as its beginning. What is Ikshana? The first modification of Maya or Prakriti before the creation. The Srishti, the creation which has got Ikshana as its first aspect, that is Ikshanadi Srishti. Again, Praveshanta Srishti, that is Bahuri Samasa. Praveshanta Srishti, the Srishti ending with Pravesha. The final aspect of the Srishti created by Ishvara is Pravesha, entry. Entry, you have seen, is the availability of Chidabhasa in the created Jagat in each and every embodiment, the living beings. So that is. Now, these are the two Bahuri Samasa, that means compound. They are clubbed now. Srishti, which is both Ikshanadi and Praveshanta. That is what is called as Karmadharaya Samasa. That is Ikshanadischa Asau Praveshantacha Srishti Ikshanadi Praveshanta Srishti. In the sense, the creation which has got Ikshana as its beginning, and the same creation which has got the entry as the end. The A to Z of the creation that is affected by Ishvara is told as Ikshanadi Praveshanta Srishti Ishena Kalpita. Means, having created the entire Jagat, the Paramatma, the Brahma Sarupa, Chaitanya available in the creation in terms of Chidabhasa, in different embodiment, that is what who has created? Ishvara has created. Then, you and me who undergo the varieties of experiences is on account of what? It is because of our doing only. So who creates this? This is created by Jiva. The subjective experiences in the public world that each and every individual Jiva is undergoing is something that is created by Jiva. So that Srishti he explained जाग्रदादि विमोक्षान्तः संसारः जीवकल्पितः. This samsara, this existence of sorrows, tensions, joys, limitations, confusions, and all that we undergo moment by moment, all this samsara, what is it? What is the A to Z of it? Jagradadi. Jagradadi, the one for which the Adi, the beginning is Jagrat, the waking state. Also, the Jagrat is Upalakshana for the dream, the waking is Upalakshana for dream and also sleep. So beginning means our day-to-day experiences in terms of waking, dream and sleep. Fine. Then ending with what? Vimokshantaha. Ending with moksha. So again the Srishti, Jagradadihi yasya samsarasya. That is asau Jagradadihi. The one for which Jagrat, waking etc. is the beginning, that is Jagradadi. What is Vimokshantaha? Vimoksha means mukti. Antaha yasya saha. Samsara which has got moksha as the final goal or end of it. Because once moksha is there, samsara gets terminated. So that way says Vimokshantaha samsaraha. Again here also first Bahuri, then the samsara which is both Jagradadi and Vimokshanta is Jagradadi Vimokshanta Karmadhare Samasa. So, beginning from waking state up to the end in terms of moksha, this is what is the creation of who? Individual Jiva. So, two types of srishtis, the creations have been explained. Actually, this appears in Varaha Upanishad, chapter 2, stanza 54. As I told last time, in 6th chapter also this was quoted. Again it is going to come in the 8th chapter. This is what the Srishti is. Created by Prakriti, and what is created by Jiva. Prakriti creates Jiva Ishvara. Jiva Ishvara creates the Jagat in this way. Now, who is this Purusha? Let us see. Ramadhishthana Bhutatma Kutastha Sangha Chidvapuhu Anyonyadhyasato Sangha Dhistha Jivotra Purushaha Kutastha Sangha Chidvapuhu Ramadhishthana Bhutatma. If you want, you can add first Yaha Kutastha Sangha Chidvapuhu. Before Kutastha Sangha, add Yaha. Yaha Kutastha Sangha Chidvapuhu Ramadhishthana Bhutatma. Further add Saha Eva. Further Saha Eva. Anyonyadhyasato sangadhistha jivaha atra purushaha. Anyonyadhyasataha asangadhistha jivaha atra purushaha. Those who have got Nirnay Sagar publication, we can make one correction there. There is one avagraha between sa and to. Anyonyadhyasato. There between sa and to there is one avagraha is there. Remove that avagraha and place between to and sa. Thereafter. So it should be after to and before sa of sangadhihi. Only I don't know what about the other publication is okay. Only Nirnay Sagar publication. Anyonyadhyasato sangadhistha jivaha atra purusha. The one who is like this, who is that? Kutastha Yaha, the one who is Kutastha Sangha Chidvapuhu. One who is Kutastha Asanga Chidvapuhu. Vapu literally means body. So here it is not the body, it means Swarupa. The one whose very nature is Kutastha Asanga Chit. Kutastha, that is Nirvikara, that which is free from changes, modification, free from any vikriya. So that is kutastha nirvikara. Asanga chidvapuhu. So the one who is asanga, the one who has no connection whatsoever with the entire creation, including individual embodiment. Chit. Chit is the very Chaitanya Tattva, the very Jnana Tattva, Jnapti Tattva, the pure awareness principle, the pure knowledge principle. So, that which is nirvikara, changeless, modificationless, asanga, unconnected to everything, what exactly it is? Chit vapuhu means very jnana swarupa. That which is nothing but knowledge principle, not knowledge of something, the very principle because of which you know all that you know, including what you don't know, the very knowledge principle. So, therefore that asanga chidvapuhu, at the same time, brahmadhisthana bhutatma, one who is brahmadhisthana bhuta. So, Brahma, that means the one who is in the form of adhisthana, the basis of Brahma. What is Brahma here? What is Brahma? What you call as Brahma? Knowing something other than what it is. What is the opposite word to that in Sanskrit? You are not familiar. You have heard many times, but you don't know that it is the opposite word of this. Prama. Prama. The correct knowledge of a given thing. If you see the rope as a rope, it is prama. But if you take the rope as snake, it is, don't say Brahma. It is Brahma. It is Brahma. It is what you call as erroneous notion, wrong concept. Wrong concept, erroneous notion, or other what we call delusion, we say. Of course, the word delusion also is there. So, erroneous notion, wrong concept about something. Taking one thing to be other than what exactly it is, that is what is Brahma. Now, this Kutastha Asanga Chidvapu, it means the very Chaitanya Tattva Atma, is Brahmadhishta Bhutatma, one who is available as the very adhisthana of all that is available to us in terms of Brahma, in terms of our wrong notions. What is that which is available in terms of wrong notion, Brahma? Beginning from where to ending with what? Begins from our own embodiment, ahankara, deha dvaya, gross body, subtle body, including the ignorance, ending with the entire gross word. That is what? So, that is deha, indriya, adi, this embodiment, upadhi. It's adhisthana bhutaha. Adhisthana bhuta is the very basis in the sense without which it has no existence. Two words we should know properly. Adhisthana. What do you mean by adhisthana? You say basis. What do you mean basis? Without which this thing will not have existence. Just as the mistaken snake can have no existence apart from the rope. If rope were not there, there is no room for you to mistake it as a snake. If Chaitanya were not there, if the very knowledge principle were not there, there is no occasion for either existence of these bodies or taking them as I. That way adhisthana, without which such notion is, or experience is just next to impossible. So that is Brahmadhisthana Bhutatma means one who is available as the very basis of all this embodiment and the Jagat, which actually is Brahma, because in reality it is not there, though it is certainly experienced by one and all. So Brahmbhutatma, that one, and as a result of this, where is it there now? Saha eva, the very same, that asankutastha sangachidvapuhu is now available like this. Saha eva anyonyadhyasataha, because of anyonya, mutual adhyasa, mutual superimposition. Between what? between this Kutastha Sangha Chidvapu, the Chaitanya Rupa Atma, which is the basis of entire creation, and what is available as Brahma, the Dehadvaya. The gross and the Sthula Sharira and the Sukh Sharira, gross and subtle bodies on one side, by themselves are what? Gross and subtle bodies by themselves are inert in nature. Chaitanya is nothing but that is pure awareness principle, the very knowledge principle. One is the pure awareness principle, sentiency principle. Other one is the very embodiment, nothing but the inner thing as such. Now, there is mutual superimposition. What do you mean by mutual superimposition? Mutual superimposition in terms of taking one thing for other, that is one aspect of it, taking the characteristic features of one as the characteristic feature of other. In chapter this has been explained. You mistake the rope for the snake. There is anyonya adhyasa. There is mutual superimposition. Don't think only one-sided superimposition. What is that? Snake aspect is superimposed on whom? Rope. You can't say. Rope aspect also is superimposed on the snake. But it is that you have to inquire to know that aspect. We simply say it is a snake. When you say snake is not actual snake, but a mistaken snake. When you say snake is, that snake aspect belongs to whom? Rope. Snake. Snake is snake, that's all. The snake aspect belongs to snake. But when you say snake is, that isness, existence aspect doesn't belong to snake because there is no snake. There is no snake. What is there is only a rope. So therefore, that means existence aspect belongs to rope, and therefore that isness, existence is superimposed on the snakeness, and the snakeness is superimposed on the rope where actually there is no snake. This is what is called as the mutual superimposition. Existence aspect on the part of the or belonging to rope is ascribed or attributed to the snake. The actual name and form of the snake, suppose the hood is there, etc. Actually, what happened was the rope was little up, and this fellow mistook it for a hood. That also is what? Belonging to snake is superimposed on the rope. Like this, here, some mutual superimposition, mutual attribution takes place. Between what? Dehadvaya and Kutastha Asanga Chit Vapuhu. What is the basis of this Brahma? So what is that mutual, let us say? Can we take this body, gross and subtle body, as I? Does the I-ness, I am so and so, I am this body, I am tall, I am short, I am lean, I am fat, etc. When you say, you refer to the body as I. Can the body on its own take it to be I? No. Why not? You take it. You don't take. अच्छा, you don't take the body as I. अच्छा, वेदांत बहुत हो गया. That means you have some, at least you have borrowed something from Vedanta. That's all right. So Vedanta repeatedly tells, I am not the body, I am not the body. I think Swamiji is asking the body should not be I. That's what only that you are telling. But you are taking the body as I. The question comes whether the body can be I. You say no. Come on, tell me why not? One thing, you need not study Vedanta. Common sense tells us that whatever we take as I has to be sentient and not inert. We may not know what that I is, what we refer to as me, but certainly we know it is something which is sentient, sachetana, all along, not at times. It is sachetana all along. All along means when? during waking state, dream state, and also deep sleep. Never I am inert. You may say, Sunday afternoon I am inert. After heavy lunch I am inert. You may say that different types of stupor, inertia. That is not the jadatva. You say. Do you know that you are inert at that time or not? That makes you know that you are inert. That is what we are referring to. That being the case. So not that jadatva, but inert. Say this microphone is inert. Poor fellow doesn't know what is being taught here. If it were to know, it will be more greater jnani than all of you. Because you are not regular in the class. So long as this Swami comes and talks, this microphone has to be there invariably, and it will be a great jnani. And it has been used earlier in some many other discourses also. So it doesn't know. The walls will know what is going on here. Not only this, but there are many programs do take place. They will know whatever that is going on. No. On their own, they are inert. Body on its own is inert. If body were to be sentient, Chetana on its own, we have seen what will happen. No one will ever die, because death means the body is not responding. So that death will be just next to impossible. So that being the case, say Anyonya Adhyasa means here this body, whether at gross level, Sthula Sharira, or at psyche level, Suksha Sharira, it is inert on its own. But you and me are not inert. We are what? Lively and sentient. We are Sachetana. That Sachetana aspect really doesn't belong to who? The body. It belongs to who? Kutastha Asanga Chidvapuhu. Come on, now tell. You just consider your physical body. Forget this. If I ask, we have seen this earlier. If I ask you to close your eyes and just visualize your body in the posture that you are sitting. When you visualize, won't you take the body as the one which is endowed with light? Right now, your body, has it got light or not? You are able to see, you can see your hand, etc. If you stand in front of the mirror, you can see the spot. Means it is endowed with light. How it has come, you know? From where the light has come? Is it the part and parcel of the body? Is the light part and parcel of the body? If that is the case, in pitch darkness, what will happen? You will start emitting light also. No. It is because the diffuse light is there, diffuse light has fallen and the light gets reflected. But when you consider your body, you always consider it to be endowed with light principle. Truly speaking, it is not its feature, it is a borrowed feature from the light which is totally distinct from the body. So also, we take the body as Sachetana. That Sachetana aspect, Chaitanya aspect is not an intrinsic feature of the body. It is borrowed from Chaitanya Tattva. Otherwise, even a dead corpse will be what? Sachetana, it will start responding. Cremation will be a problem. The fellow will start running afterwards. The moment you keep on the funeral pyre, the fellow will start running. So, it is just not possible. That is what. Now what has happened? The inert body, including the subtle body, has borrowed the Chaitanya aspect from the Chaitanya, Kutastha Asanga Chidvapuhu. Reverse of it. This Chidvapuhu, Chaitanya, pure awareness principle, constant integrated awareness. Last time we have seen this. Constant integrated awareness, the pure awareness principle, the pure consciousness principle doesn't have the body as its characteristic feature. The body really is not the constituent or part and parcel of Chaitanya. What has happened? sentiency aspect of Chaitanya is superimposed or attributed to the inert body. Inert body is attributed to Chaitanya, mutual, anyonya adhyasa. This is first. One thing is taken to be the other. Thereafter, features of one are taken to be the features of other. You mistake the rope to be the snake. Thereafter, the length of the rope, the girth of the rope is taken as the length and the girth of the snake. Like this. So that is now that way the one thing is superimposed on the other. Not only a given thing is taken to be the other, but the features of one are mistaken as those of the other. So this is what is anyonya adhyasataha. Because of this mutual superimposition, asangadhisthaha jivaha atra purushaha. This, with this, remember from first line. Utasta sangachid vapuhu. If it is a big phrase, remember only this much. The Chaitanya Tattva, the Chit Tattva, the pure awareness principle, which is free from modification, which serves as the basis of entire creation. That Chaitanya Rupa, Atma, on account of mutual superimposition between the Atma and the embodiment. So what has it become now? Asangadhisthasta jiva. He is available as jiva, where, abiding where, remaining where? Jisthaha. Jiyam tishtati. Remains, abides, resides where? In dhi, buddhi, antakarana. The psyche. Because this sentiency, where exactly it is available to begin with? As we experience, sentiency is available from the top of the head up to the tip of the toe, except the hair and the nail. Except this, it is available all along in the body. But straight away, it is not available in the body, gross body, physical body, it is not available. First, it is available in antakarana. Antakarana, manabuddhi ahankara chitta, constituted of very subtle thought. There it is available because a reflection of Chaitanya is possible there. Thereafter, in succession, it gets connected to Indriyas and finally up to the gross body. That in the case, Ahankara, etc. come in between, and it is available in and through all this. So therefore, now, to begin with, where is available? Asangadhisthaha jivaha. So actually he is available as Dhisthaha jivaha. Dhisthaha jiva, the one who is available in the antakarana. Why that asanga is brought there? Asanga is to show that this Atma has nothing to do whatsoever with the dhi antakarana. It is like this. So asanga dhistha means, so the one who has no sangha whatsoever with the dhi, buddhi, antakarana. Sambandha means connection in the sense, connection is possible where the limited things are there. Chaitanya being all pervasive, it is not connected to anything whatsoever. So means Atma Chaitanya is independent of dhi, buddhi. It has nothing to do anything whatsoever with the features of buddhi. And that is why it is called asanga. Means in reality, there cannot be any connection with the this Chaitanya and this the buddhi as such. Just as space cannot have any connection with anything whatsoever in the entire creation. Yet for Vyavahara we say all space, spot space. Like this we say, it appears as though confined by the walls or the pot, etc. But truly speaking, the space cannot have any connection whatsoever. Why? Space is the subtlest one in the creation, where other things are gross, so there can't be any real connection. Likewise, your Chaitanya is much more subtler than even the space, cannot truly have any connection, the real connection between itself and the this Atma. And therefore it says, asangadhistha jivaha. It is svena paramarthika sambandha shunyayam dhyam or dhi tishtati iti. That's what asanga. Svena paramarthika sambandha shunyayam dhyam. Dhyam, buddhau, in the dhi, buddhi, which has no real connection, true connection with itself, the Chaitanya. The one who is tishtati there means abides there, remains there, is called Jivaha. That Jiva is Atra. Atra means where? All to be connected to the first stanza, which is the Brihadaranyaka mantra. Atmanam chid vijaniyat ayamasmiti purusha. That purushaha word, that is what? Atra Purushaha. He is the one who is the Jiva is called as Purusha, because why? Author has to specify this. The word Purusha is used also for Atma. It is not so. Purushaha means Purushaha itself is called as Pu. Long is actually it is not long Purushaha, but Purusha itself, Purusha means Jiva. So in short, the Kutastha Chaitanya Rupa Atma, the basis of entire creation, including our embodiment, on account of mutual superimposition, available as the Jiva in Antakarana, undergoing all the experiences samsara, that Jiva is called Purusha. That's all. Purusha is Jiva. Now, what all aspects have been brought to describe this Purusha called Jiva? First, what should be there? Kutastha Sanga Chidva Vapu, which is Brahmadhisthana, means the Chaitanya, which is the basis of entire creation. The Chaitanya without any change whatsoever, that must be there. Then, and for Anyonya Adhyasa, Deha Dvaya must be there. Mere Deha Dvaya is not available. In that Deha Dvaya, Abhasa, appearance of reflection of Chaitanya must be there. All these three aspects have been brought to describe what the Jiva is. So, mere Asanga Atma cannot be Jiva, cannot be Purusha, Jiva. Mere embodiment by itself cannot be. Mere Abhasa, Chidabhasa, reflected Chaitanya in Antakarana by itself also cannot be. This has to be understood properly, for which he is now going to elaborate. Now just see. The Chaitanya, which is free from changes, the basis of entire creation, along with the mutual superimposition with the Chidabhasa, means both bodies have been brought in picture there, not simply bodies, but the Chidabhasa available Antakarana has brought. All the mixing of this is what is called as the Jiva. Now, the doubt comes, sir, why do you bring that Kutastha Asanga Chid Vapu there? What you require is Deha Dvaya, embodiment, along with the reflection Chidabhasa. Why do you bring that Kutastha Asanga Chid Vapuhu Brahmadhisthana Bhutatma? It's not necessary for. So some may argue like this. Who is Jiva? Jiva is two embodiments, and along with the Chidabhasa, the reflection of Chaitanya available in the embodiment. That is what is the Jiva. We don't need that original Chaitanya, we don't need. So that is now going to be that is the objection here. So, mere Chidabhasa, of course, Chidabhasa means what is taken for granted. If you see the reflection of moon somewhere, what does it take for granted? Reflecting medium is there, either a mirror or a water or something is there, otherwise the reflection is not possible. When you say Chidabhasa, reflected Chaitanya is available, reflecting medium must be there. What should be there? Antakarana must be there. Antakarana means gross body also must be there. Without the two body, gross and subtle bodies, you can't expect to have the reflected Chaitanya. So therefore, this Chidabhasa, which of course does presuppose the two embodiments, Let it itself be Jiva. Why are you bringing this Kutastha Chaitanya? Any answer for this? Before going to the stanza, come on, what you have to say? It is just like saying, why should you bother about the moon? Only what? The reflection and the reflecting medium is enough. Without the moon, how are you going to get the reflection? Without the Chaitanya, Kutasa Chaitanya, from where are you going to get the Chidabhasa? It is just not possible. That we'll see later. If that was the basic Kutasa Chaitanya is not there, one more problem is going to come. Do you know why? What's the problem? You are studying Vedanta. What for? संडे इवनिंग कुछ करने का नहीं है, दूसरा काम नहीं है. Somehow you have to spend that time. It's a nice way of spending that time. You take to analysis of Shastra, and somebody told, बहुत पुण्य भी मिलता है, श्रद्धालु, आस्तिकवान, etc. So therefore what? पुण्य भी मिलता है. And you say, look, not ordinary punya. You don't know. Vedanta vichara gives, you know how much punya? Enormous punya. If you club all the rituals and yajnayagas that are told in the Vedas, you know what is the A to Z of this? Beginning from Agnihotra, ending with Ashwamedha Yaga. There are many innumerable the rituals and sacrifices are there. Suppose you do all these, you will be amassing lot of punya. Vedanta vichara punya exceeds all those punya. It exceeds all those punya. You should know there are different types of sadhana. Highest type of sadhana is Tattva Chintana. Tattva Chintana means directly cognizing the Atma Swarupa, the very basis of entire creation. Brahma Swarupa means getting lost in Nididhyasana, one's own Swarupa. If that is not possible, there is certain eligibility. If that is not possible, number 2 is Shastra Vichara. What we are doing. Shastra Vichara means analysis of the Shastra. That is what is the number 2. That also not possible for all. You call your friends here. They will come to oblige you. And they will be miserable. So ये कभी खत्म हो जाएगा. It also needs certain application of the mind and that much of, that is what? Value for this, that means discovery. So that is number 2, provided number 1 is not. Suppose that Shastra Vichara also one is not capable of taking. Then comes Japa. Japa, that is Japa, your Parayana, etc. All the Parayana also is a type of Japa. Japa, etc. All this. That is number 3. To do that also one has to sit at one. Japa is not that 10 Gayatris morning and 10 Gayatris in the evening. Not that way. Continuous for a considerable period of time. That is the third variety. Even if that is not possible, the Adhama is the last one. Going on pilgrimage, etc. Going to Tirtha Kshetra and all, this is the last variety, because you go to Yatra and collect only Patras only there. ಯಾತ್ರೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ತರುತ್ತಾರೆ. So what? Your main interest is not actually the deity or this thing. Nowadays, tourist craze. See, nowadays if you go to pilgrimage center, 80% are tourists only there. Not actually the those who have got that astikya bhava, etc. is not there, only tourist. Anyway, but that is also the last one. Now, varieties of sadhanas are there. So now you see here, that is, what for this? It gives the punya. That's in the case. Even if Atma Jnana is not gained in this life, but Shravana, Atma Vichara is bound to give lot of question was, what for do you take to this Vichara, Shastra Vichara? That was my question. Why do you take to this study of Vedanta? Actually, the study means a Vichara, you are the same. So I'm just guiding you, this way it has to be conducted, Atma Vichara has to be conducted. What for? To gain the knowledge. Knowledge of what? Atma. Why that knowledge of Atma, my true nature, do you want? There lies the freedom from samsara. There is no other means whatsoever. All patchwork you can do in terms of gaining punya, etc., going to heaven, temporary cessation of sorrows, etc., all these are patchwork. No final remedy from any one of these. For that can be only when I know what my Swarupa is. In that knowledge of my Swarupa, which itself confers moksha, that is the final remedy to this samsara. So therefore, Atma Vichara, Shastra Vichara, we conduct to get freed from samsara. And suppose the person falls short of it, he is not going to get lost on that account. Punya being so, he is going to get prapya punya kritan lokan ushitva shashvati samaha Shuchinam srimatam gehe yoga bhrishtaha abhijayate. Lord Krishna gives assurance. So in this pursuit of gaining knowledge, one who has taken to sadhanas and he has not, because of some obstructions, not totally succeeded, is not going to ruins, certainly he will get great lokas. Varga lokas means, that means the heavens of higher order, live there for a longer period of time and return there to what? To continue the pursuit. If something was lacking, and therefore now he will make it up and finally gain the knowledge and get free from samsara. So, if you don't accept the Kutastha Chaitanya and take only the Chidabhasa with the body, you know what will happen? The one who wants to get freed from samsara will not be available. The one who is able to go to Svargas, etc., will not be available. Not only that, without the real Vastu, reflection is next to impossible, just as without the moon, reflection of moon is not possible. That being the case, my dear sir, Kutastha Asanga Chidvapuhu cannot be discarded. It has to be there. Without that Chidabhasa is not available. Without that moksha will be next to impossible. That doubt is now being answered. Sadhisthano vimokshadau jivo dhikriyate natu kevalo niradhisthana vibhranti kvapya siddhitaha. Nirnaya Sagar, vibhrantehi, not vibhrantehi. Vibhrantehi. Anvaya. Sadhisthanaha jivaha vimokshadau adhikriyate natu kevalaha. You want to add chidabhasaha. Natu kevalaha chidabhasaha. Again take adhikriyate. Why so? The reason is given. Niradhisthana vibhrantehi kvapi api kvapi asiddhita. Niradhisthana vibhrantehi kvapi asiddhita. The one who is eligible for moksha or going to heavens, etc., can be the jiva who is with adhisthana. Sadhisthana. Sadhisthana means adhishtanena sahitah. The one who is along with adhisthana. What is adhisthana here? Kutastha Chaitanya. The one, that means the non-changing Chaitanya. Avikari Chaitanya. Nirvikari Chaitanya. That is the one, adhisthana. So the one, the jiva who is with adhisthana means Kutastha Chaitanya Sahitaha. That jiva only Vimokshadau adhikriyate has the adhikara, eligibility for vimoksha adi. Vimoksha is moksha, adi for swargadi. Swargadi uttama loka. To go to better worlds like heaven, etc. Brahma loka onwards up to any loka. You may say, what about naraka? Naraka also true, but not true because nobody wants to have it. Better loka is for that who is the one, the jiva who has got the chaitanya as the basis, that one alone is adhikriyate, is eligible for moksha and also heavens. And not the other one. Who is that? Natu kevalaha chidabhasaha adhikriyate. Mere jiva whom you take as only chidabhasa. Not the word chidabhasa. Chit abhasa. Abhasa means appearance here. Abhasa also can mean shining or actual knowing also, but here appearance. Appearance like chit. Not chaitanya chit, but appears like chit. Like reflection of moon. Appears like moon, but it is not true. So that is natu kevalaha chidabhasa adhikriyate. Mere chidabhasa without kutastha chaitanya is not eligible for either moksha or swarga. How do you say so? Because the reason is niradhisthana vibhranti kvapi asiddhita. Kvapi, anywhere, nowhere, any bhranti, appearance is ever possible without adhisthana. Without the basis, without the moon, reflection of moon is not possible. Without Chaitanya, abhasa, chidabhasa, reflected Chaitanya is next to impossible. Kvapi asiddhita means avidyamanatva, being not available. So the basis Chaitanya must be there for chidabhasa. Without that, it is not. So now, either moksha or samsara is for the jiva who has got the chaitanya as the basis. That is what? Sadhisthanaha vimokshadau jivaha adhikriyate. That's what I have told in the first line. That is now further explained. Means jiva who has got the chaitanya rupa kutastha chaitanya atma as the basis is eligible for moksha or the swarga, etc. That aspect is now explained in the next two stanzas. Adhisthanausha sanyuktam brahmaushamavalamvate yada tadaham samsariti evam jivobhimanyate yada jivaha adhisthanausha sanyuktaha brahmausham avalambate tada aham samsari iti evam abhimanyate. Tada aham samsari iti evam abhimanyate. When this takes place, what takes place? Tada this jiva. Who is that jiva? The one who is like this. Number one, adhisthanausha sanyuktaha. Sanyuktam jivaha. So actually, you can jivaha, the one who is that brahmausham avalambate. literally takes support of Brahmausha. Ausha means aspect. Aspect of Brahma. What is that Brahma? Something which is topsy-turvy, which is not true but mistaken thing. What is that? So it is, Brahma stands for Chidabhasa, not simple Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa, reflected Chaitanya, endowed with both the bodies, gross body and the subtle body. But not simply that, along with Adhisthanausha Sanyuktam. Adhisthanausha Sanyuktam means Sanyuktam endowed with the Ansha part, means the aspect of Adhisthana, the basis. What is that? Chaitanya, not Chidabhasa. Chaitanya. Along with Chaitanya, so Brahmausham. What is Brahmausha? Chidabhasopetam Shareeradvayam. Two embodiments along with Chidabhasa. The moment you speak of Chidabhasa, what comes in picture? Both embodiments come. The moment you speak of the reflection of moon, reflecting medium is bound to be there. Without that, reflection is not possible. So therefore, Brahmausham means the Chidabhasa endowed with Sharira Dvayam. Chidabhasopetam. Upetam means endowed. That is Sanyuktam. That's what that. So, Sharira Dvayam Avalambate. Take support of. What is the take support of? Means identifies with that. We are taking support of is identifying with. Identifying with what? Means when the jiva, what does it do? Identifies with the Chidabhasa endowed with both the bodies, along with its basis, the Chaitanya. Means Chaitanya, Chidabhasa and two bodies. This must be there. And not simply it should be there. That is taken as I, Avalambate, identifies. Don't get confused. Okay? When the individual identifies with this gross and subtle embodiments endowed with the reflection of Chaitanya, Chidabhasa, that's what it is. And that Chidabhasa you have brought means Chaitanya has to be. Then what? Jiva. Then what does he do? Okay, let him take to that. Better, no? More the better. If simple Atma were there, what will be there? Chaitanya will be there. Now what is that? Two more things are there. Gross body also is there. Subtle body is there. Third aspect also is there. What is that? Chidabhasa there. More the merrier, is it not? No. Says, Tada aham samsari iti evam abhimanyati. He considers himself as what? Samsari. Desirable, undesirable? Undesirable. Lip service undesirable, but runs after running after samsara only as such. So why? Because when you take your samsari means all sorrows become my part and part. What to do? They are there. Let them be there. Who told you they belong to you? Let them be there. They can be there. What is wrong in that? But you are not them. See, the moon which is reflected there in the water is shaky and is torn into bits and so gloomy and muddy. Can the moon ever be affected? Suppose the moon looks there and starts screaming, "Yo, what happened to me? I am torn into bits and I have become so dull." And also yesterday, Purnima moon. What happened? This moon, unfortunately, has done this mistake. What is that? Brahmausham avalambati. Identifies with that Brahma of the reflection along with the muddy water with oneself intact there. And he says what? I am torn into pieces. I have become muddy, gloomy, samsara. For whom? Moon. The moment he discovers, oh, I have nothing to do with that water, I am free from that, I have nothing to do with the reflection or the pieces. What happened? Jnani ho gaya. Exactly same thing happened. Chaitanya Kutastha, identifying with the embodiment along with the Chidabhasa, taking all the A to Z features of this embodiment as oneself, suffers all sorrows because embodiment means what is that? Sorrows are bound to be there. Suffers as samsara. That's what it means. Tada aham samsari iti abhimanyati. That is the samsara aspect. When he gets freed from this, brahmaushyasya tiraskarat adhisthana pradhanata yada tada chidatmaham asangosmiti buddhyate. So yada, when means among these two now. What are the two things available? Kutastha Atma and Chidabhasa. When you take Chidabhasa, what you have to bring there? Deha, Sharira. Among these two now means the Kutastha Atma and the Jiva that is available because of this identification. Yada, what happens? Brahmaushasya tiraskara. So, that is rejecting the Brahma Ausha. What is Brahma Ausha? The Chidabhasa with the Dehadvaya, Shariradvaya. Reflection of Chaitanya endowed with the two gross, that is two embodiments that are gross and subtle embodiment. So, it's Tiraskara. Tiraskara means that is not my Swarupa, that is false in nature. I am distinct from the Chidabhasa and the two bodies, gross and the subtle body. That's what Tiraskara. Tiraskara means not hating, etc. Here is that rejecting. Rejecting them, not my Swarupa. And they are false in nature. Mithya, false in nature. So by discrimination, Viveka, Atma Vichara, Yada Brahmaushasya Tiraskara, then that is rejected. What will remain? Chidabhasa with the two bodies rejected. Rejected means what? You can't throw it anywhere. You can't, not ending the body, etc. Not that. That is another problem. Why? You can't end, you may end the physical body, you can't end the subtle body. That's why suicide is a foolish aspect. Because by misuse of will, if the body is ended, the physical body may be ended, but the momentum of that body is not exhausted, and those karma phalas are bound to be answered afterward. The embodiments are bound to continue. Plus, what has happened? Some wrong thing has been done here. Its phala also is bound to. It also is a karma. The karma, nishiddha karma. Its what is that? Result also is bound to come from that standpoint. So that is now here not physical ending as such. By Viveka, discovering these two embodiments along with Chidabhasa cannot be by true nature. And what is this? Me is the very basis, the Chaitanya. That is what it says. Adhisthana pradhanata. You can add there bhavati. When there is pradhanata, means what? Pradhanata of what? Prominence. Pradhanata is prominence. Prominence of what? Adhisthana. Adhisthana, the very basis, the Kutastha Chaitanya. Means discarding the identification with the two embodiments, gross and subtle, endowed with the Chidabhasa, taking one's true nature as the Chaitanya Tattva with the basis of these, and what happens? Tada aham Chidatma asangaha asmi iti buddhyati. Then one is capable of gaining this knowledge. What is that? Who am I? Me is what? Chidatma, Chaitanya Rupa, Atma, the very pure awareness principle. asangaha, not connected with either the gross or subtle body or the chidabhasa. Iti buddhyate. So one gains the knowledge. You may say what? Earlier you are taking the body as I. Now you say what? Chaitanya as I. It is easy, is it not? It is not lip service. It is not lip service. Direct cognition in terms of aparoksha anubhava must be there. That means the Chaitanya Swarupa, me, has to be directly cognized. When you cognize that, what happens? All these accompanied things with the Chidabhasa, with the two bodies, popularly called as samsara, is no more the one that belongs to. That's right. The moon can claim, I have nothing to do with all the shattered nature of the reflection and the water that reflects. I have nothing to do with it. So the one who can discover this, so that is what Chida Asangaham. I am totally aloof from that. Iti buddhyate. So one gains the knowledge. So, due to ignorance, one gets identified with the Chidabhasa endowed with two bodies. Two bodies means what? Gross body and the subtle body. Suffers as I am samsara. By proper inquiry and discovery of true nature, having discarded Chidabhasa along with the gross embodiment, so gross and subtle embodiment is not me. The very Chaitanya Adhisthana is me. When you discover, one who discovers that I am who? Chidatma asangaha asmi iti buddhyati. This is what the status of knowledge. Now, a doubt is raised, sir, this is not possible. I am Kutastha Chidatma asangaha asmi. This knowledge is not possible. Because when you say I am, who is that I am? Right now, I am so and so. When you say who is this I? Body, etc. means ahankara, is it not? And your Chaitanya is what? Asanga or sasanga? Asanga. Can it have ahankara? No. How is it possible? How can the Chaitanya, which is free from ahankara, can take as what? I am ahankara. Because Kutastha Chaitanya is different. Kutastha Asanga Chaitanya is different. Ahankara is different. One can't be the other. Can the cow take as I am the horse? Is it ever possible? No. So therefore, how do you say that this Chidatma Asangaha Aham Asmi, I am, means I am refers to Ahankara. Chidatma Asanga, Atma is free from Ahankara. How can both one and the same? How can they both be one and the same? This is not possible. That is the doubt that is raised, for which that is now answer is being given. Na sange hankritir yokta katham asmiti chet shruno eko mukhyo dvava mukhyo ityarthastrividhohamah asange ahankritihi na yukta. Asange ahankritihi na yukta. Asmi iti katham add janiyat. Asmi iti katham, then add janiyat. Iti chet, not chet, okay, chet shruno. Ekaha mukhyaha, dvau amukhyav. Note the sandhi breaking. Dvau amukhyav iti ahamaha trividhaha arthaha. There is one sandhi breaking. Dvau amukhyav iti arthaha trividhaha ahamaha. Anvaya is dvau amukhyav iti ahamaha trividhaha arthaha. If your doubt is like this, here is the answer. असंगे अहंकृति न युक्ता. If asanga chid vapu, kutastha atma, in that ahankriti means ahankara, I am this, which refers to ahankara, is what? Na yukta, is not proper. Why? The very fact that Chaitanya Asanga speaks that it can't be ahankara, because ahankara takes the body as I. So how can the Chaitanya, which has no connection with the body, can take the body as I? Iti. So that is na yukta. Therefore, asmi iti katham janiyat. How can we know that I am the asanga chidvapu? By the by, so that now that is the analysis of the word Purusha is over. Now, in the first stanza, Ayam asmiti Purushaha, asmi. I am the Chaitanya Rupa Atma, that asmi, the word from first stanza, that is from Brihadaranyaka mantra, Ayam asmi. That asmi is now being analyzed from stanza 8 to 18. Asmiti Shabdartha Vicharaha. Stanza 8 to 8 to 18, that asmi, that is now being analyzed. How that I am the Chaitanya Rupa Atma. For that now he says, so katham asmiti janiyat. How can we know that Kutastha Atma is me? Because this is me means ahankara, and Kutastha Atma cannot have the ahankara as constituent or part. If that is your question, please listen the answer. What is that? You have not understood what is aham called I. When you say I, there are three types of I. Analysis. We take I. Three varieties of I. And what are those three varieties? Ekaha mukhyaha. One I is mukhyaha, the prominent one. Dvau amukhyau. Two, I can't say eyes. You will take EYES eyes, not EYESI. I. Two types of I, me. That is aham, dvau, amukhyau. Amukhyau means not prominent ones, secondary ones. So, this iti, ahamaha, of the word aham used, trividha arthaha. Three types of meanings are there for one, the prominent one. He is going to explain what are those. One, the prominent one. The other two are the secondary. Like this, aham, that whatever I, ahankara that you say, three varieties are. What are they? That means from that now he is going to prove aham chidatma asangaha. This is asmi. I am that Chaitanya Rupa. Asanga Chaitanya Rupa Atma is possible. Now the doubt was, how can ahankara be this chidatma? Because chidatma is asanga, not possible. Fine. You have not understood what is meant by aham properly. Aham word is taken in three different ways. One, the prominent one. Other two are the secondary one. In one of the secondary ones, this does certainly, I am asanga, chidrupaha, etc. does fit, it is possible. Now first, what is the prominent one? Let us see, primary one. Anyonyadhyasarupena kutasthabhasayorvapuh eki bhuya bhaven mukhyaha tatra mudhai prayujyate. Kutasthabhasayoho vapuh अन्योन्याध्यासरूपेण एकीभूय मुख्यः भवेत् एड यतः तत्र मूढ़ैः फर्दर एड अहम शब्दः प्रयुज्यते. तत्र मूढ़ैः अहम शब्दः प्रयुज्यते. Actually, this is whom he refers to is the Jiva. What we have defined as Jiva, Purushaha, that Jiva. Kutasthabhasayoho vapuhu. Vapu again here is Swarupa, the nature. The Swarupa of Kutastha Abhasayoho means to take Kutastha Atma and also Abhasa. And when you take Abhasa, what is taken for granted? Shariradvaya, Dehadvaya, gross and subtle bodies along with the Abhasa and Kutastha Chaitanya. These are two aspects taken. What happens? Anyonyadhyasa Rupena. The Kutastha Atma is superimposed on the body. Body which is Abhasa superimposed on Kutastha Atma. We have seen that mutual superimposition, mutual attribution. So Anyonyadhyasa Rupena, by mutual adhyasa, Ekibhuya becoming one means identifying one with the other. Chaitanya Rupa Atma is mistaken as the body. Body is mistaken as Chaitanya Rupa Atma. Ekibhuya, by mutual identification, whatever that aham, I comes from, that is mukhyaha, that is the mukhya ahankara, the prominent ahankara, primary, not prominent ahankara. The word ahankara used prominently or primarily. That is the main usage of the word ahankara. What is it? Kutastha Atma, Chaitanya Atma and Chidabhasa with the two embodiment mutually superimposed, and that mix-up is taken as what? I. That assembly is taken as I. What assembly it is? Kutastha Chaitanya, Chidabhasa and the Dehadvaya. This assembly is taken as I. That is the word Mukhyaha, prominent one, because that is the popular one. That is the one I taken by majority. It says, Tatra Mudhaihi Aham Shabdaha Prayujyati. In this assembly, Kutastha Chaitanya, Chidabhasa, and Yodit Dehadvaya, that mean Mudhaihi means Avivekibhi, not foolish person, Avivekibhi, by those who lack discrimination, Aham Shabdaha Prayujyati. The word aham, I, ahankara is used. Actually, this is the ahankara which has to be discarded. So therefore, he should be mukhya or amukhya. He is the one problematic fellow, has to be thrown out. But why he is called mukhya? Because Tatra Mudhaihi Aham Shabdaha Prayute. All avivekis use this ahankara, and avivekis are in greater number or vivekis are in greater number. Majority Inkilab Dhindava, that's all. So majority need not be always the wise one. That's why all idiots are coming to rule the country. That's what is happening. That's the fate of the country. All gundas and all rogues are electing. What does it mean? Those who are electing are like that. So don't blame any government. You know why? Who has elected them? Who is? No, Swamiji, I have not done. I have not means majority. Majority are of such people who don't know in whose hand the country can be saved. So the best thing is what? First let the people live a life of dharma, then certainly a right type of government can emerge. Till then we have to suffer. Little some patch here and there, patchwork here and there, etc. Pray God. Only God can save the country and not the politicians. Till then pray. I am telling generally. The first thing, Sabako Sanmati De Bhagavan. First thing. So, oh Lord, give good sense to all first. Then only what will happen, some good people will emerge as the leaders. Don't think that in India there are not good leaders. There are leaders who can, but they are nowhere now. Because the majority are the other way. So majority need not be true all the time. That being the case. So Mukhyaha means popular. Majority take this as the I. Other two are not in majority, therefore Amukhya. Not otherwise, this is the one who has to be discarded. That is the problem of all samsara, this wrong identification. But it is called mukhya. Now, who are the other one, amukhya? They are, that is the one who knows Chidabhasa as false. Chidabhasa means at the body, with body, is not the true I. Who is the true I? The Chaitanya only, the true I. So that one. The one who knows the Chaitanya as the true I and takes that I as that is one of the amukhya. And the other one who knows that Chidabhasa with the body I is false. But at times for Vyavahara uses that as Jnani when he uses the body etc. as I, that's the other I. These are the amukhya. Next two stanzas is going to explain. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimahesha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Vachatu Tajjanya Prithvi Sasyashayani Desho Yam Shobharahita Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhave Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma